Okay, so this is part 5 of how to make custom firmware. This video is going to be editing the category game XML in order to add app home data and install package files options to the XMB. Basically, in the DEX official firmware, there's app home data and install package files options in the XMB, but they're not available on CEX. So all we did was took the structure of the DEX XML and added it into the CEX XML in order to make it so that you can use those options on CEX. So what you want to do is you want to come into the making custom firmware folder, open up the category game edits, and you should have already installed Notepad. So if you right click on this file and go to properties, and then see here it says opens with, and then go to change and then browse, go to your local disk, go into program files and then find Notepad++, and then double click on the exe and then click OK, apply the changes and then click OK. So every time you double click an XML file it will open up in Notepad. Okay, and then we want to open up official firmware files, the category game XML. Okay, so this is the file that we're going to edit, and these are the actual edits. My custom firmware is edited different from this, so I've got different branches, and I've the way it works is different. But I'm just going to show you this as a base. I may show you how I do mine in the future. So first we want to highlight this section here, and we want to copy that, and then we want to insert that between lines 62 and 63. So scroll down until you find line 62 and just bash enter, and then we'll paste that into there. So that's basically added these two into there. So this is the PSN store in the game category. So this is where the PSN store category, PSN store logo comes up in the games category. Then we've added app home underneath it, and then install packages will come up underneath it. So then we want to add the second edit, which is going to be inserted at line 667. So we're going to want to highlight it, and we just keep coming down until we get to this part here. This is for removing SingStar under here. I'll show you that in a second. We want to copy this second edit, and then we want to insert that at 667. Now this is quite important. This part here is the close of the XML, so you want to make sure that you don't mess with that. So at line 667, just paste that into there. There we go, and that's added the info for app home and install packages. Right, I'll show you the SingStar. This is how I remove SingStar. SingStar's like the Terminator 2000. It just keeps coming back. When you connect to PSN, the PlayStation checks to make sure that you've got the files and folders. If you haven't, it re-downloads it. So this is the only way to get rid of it. So you'll copy this first edit into the beginning of line 122. So if you go back up until you hit 122, so there's line 122, and then we'll paste that into there, and then come back into the game edits, and then this first section will go into line 116 at the beginning. So there, and you'll see it go green. There we go. So basically that's the beginning of the comment out, and that's the end of the comment out. That means whatever machine is reading this XML, it will ignore this part. So that's how you get rid of the SingStar icon. Say if you want to get rid of the PlayStation Store from the game category, which is what I do because it's in the PSN category anyway. So you'd add open arrow exclamation mark dash dash, and then at the end of what you want to comment out you add dash dash close arrow. So whatever you want to get rid of, you add this comment at the beginning, this comment at the end, and then this section will disappear. The machine won't read it. So I'm going to leave the PSN store in for the time being. So what you want to do once you've finished editing this, you want to go to File, Save As, save it to the desktop, leave the name. There we go. So as you see, there's a copy on the desktop. So we've still got our original official firmware copy. Open up the CFW files folder, and then you want to just drag that into there. I've already got one because it's the second time I'm doing this video. We've got the custom firmware modded one, and we've got the official firmware original one. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you the UPL. So with PUAD, when you unpack it, you got the option to unpack the UPL. So when you unpack the PUP, you can unpack the dev flash, the CoreOS, and the UPL. And what will happen is you'll get inside the update files, you'll get CoreOS, dev flash, and then UPL. And the UPL XML will be in there. I've got one here which is from 480. So this is basically a list that the PlayStation uses to install the custom firmware, so it knows what's going on. So you've got the version, the build, and then you've got the date. You've got CEX. If this was DEX, then it would just say DEX there. So basically it installs the CoreOS package, then it starts to install the VSH, which is in the dev flash tar folders. Then once it's finished that, it will install the dev flash 3, then it will install the Blu-ray firmware, then it will install the multi-card, then the Bluetooth firmware, and then lastly it will install the Syscom firmware. So say if you want to install this PS3 on, say you want to install the update on a PS3 with no Bluetooth card, you'd just highlight this and delete it. So then when this installs, it won't try to install the Bluetooth firmware, so it'll install on a PS3 with no Bluetooth. If you want to make one that installs with no Blu-ray, you just highlight all the BD, the Bluetooth, the Blu-ray firmware, and then just delete that, and then it'll install on a PlayStation with no Blu-ray drive. There is a way to get, like, this will make it so that packages don't install, and packages won't run. Sorry. But there is a way to make the packages run. I'll show you that a little bit later on, but this is just the first step, like if you want to make it just install on the machine. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you how we're going to actually add the modded custom firmware files into the official firmware to turn the official firmware into custom firmware.